Well, we got a Saturday reaction to the Lions come from behind win in the preseason.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's happening, everybody? Matt Derry with you on a brand new week of Locked On Lions episodes. We got 5 for you this week. Lions and Steelers coming up on Saturday, but today is Monday, August 19th into Tuesday, August 20th. Welcome into Locked On Lions on the Locked On Podcast Network. Indeed, your team every single day. As I said, Matt Derry with you. Great to be with you on this, a Monday, and the final week of the preseason. Then we got like a couple more weeks before we get to September 8th. We are all just jonesing for week one. It'll be here before we know it, but a lot to get into today. Thanks for checking us out wherever you get your podcast. Shout out to our everydayers who either watch or listen. If you're not watching to the show, please subscribe and check us out daily on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. The program today is brought to you by FanDuel. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. Follow us on Twitter at Derry Speaks, at Locked On Lions, Matt Derry Facebook fan page as well. Lions come back and win on a Jake Bates walk-off field goal and beat the Chiefs on Saturday in the preseason 24-23. A shout out to Jake Riepma from Locked On Detroit Sports. He did the postcast on Saturday. I told you I was taking the weekend off and we would be back with you today. We got a little recap of the game. I'm not going to go too crazy about it, but again, there were some things I liked, some things I didn't like. We'll have PFF grades, who graded out well, who did not, from Saturday. I'm sure we'll prime the pump on Hendon Hooker. Oh, man, I just love the overreaction. Oh, Hooker definitely won the backup quarterback job. Oh, man, Hendon, woo, just lathering up. I mean, slow down. He looked good. All right, am I ready to call him the next Dan Fouts or Steve Young? No. Everybody slow down. DJ Reader update as well. He was at a charity event today and spoke to reporters. And my phone blowing up with the Lions should sign Julio Jones texts. No. Come on. All of that today here on a Monday edition of Locked On Lions. Shout out to all of you. Love the fans. Love that we're getting the last preseason game over with. I'm contemplating whether I'm actually going to go on Saturday and go live and see the black and gold, the Steelers in action against the Lions. I'm contemplating. We shall see. All right, so the Lions and Chiefs played on Saturday in the afternoon at Arrowhead. I watched the game on the old Fox 2 with Jason Ross, Golden Tate, much more energized Golden Tate this week, and Danny Rogers. And yes, it came down to Dan Campbell putting the ball on the toes of Jake Bates, and Bates delivered. Now, he did miss an extra point during the game, but he, banged through a couple of deep kicks. He had 4 field goal makes. And look, the bottom line is this. I don't think the Lions are bringing another kicker, nor do I think the Lions want to or are going to. Jake Bates looks like he's won the job, and he's got some confidence. And yes, I know it's only preseason, but to be outdoors in a real game scenario, kicking a game-winning field goal at the horn to win a game, albeit a fake game, I thought was a positive. Yes, I will agree with the masses. Hendon Hooker looks better than Nate Sudfeld. All right. But neither quarterback, I'm not sitting here doing backflips here. Now, again, it's the backup. Ask Green Bay how things are going with their backup quarterbacks. Sean Clifford, I think the Lions' backup quarterback position is stronger than the Packers. But let me just say this. Yes, Hooker led them down the field on a couple of end-of-the-game drives. He had the fumble with Bam Knight, but whatever, that's going to happen. But yes, comfortable in the pocket, started sliding more, didn't throw an interception like Dudfeld did against the Chiefs. Now, Sudfeld did hit Caden Davis on a nice little post. Davis made one man miss and he was gone. That was nice to see. But it was a fun game. I can't believe we were 5 minutes in. I'm breaking this thing down. It was more fun than I thought I was going to have watching a preseason game. No question about it. We're all dying for football. So it was on. It was Saturday at 4. I was getting ready for friends coming over. It was a perfect time, really, to watch. The offensive line, the backup offensive line, has been taking a lot of heat for the last 2 years during the preseason for not doing a good enough job. And those kids did a fantastic job. There was some solid performances, really, all across the board. Jamarco Jones, who had the highest PFF score, and I'll give you that in a second, he did a nice job. Awoshika played well. I mean, there were, Manu improved, definitely improved. Where's my man? Colby Sorsdahl was better. I mean, and he had the most snaps of anybody on the team. But the offensive line kept the quarterbacks upright and gave them time to throw. Am I going to sit here and tell you that we've solved the number 4 wide receiver problem in Detroit following last weekend's game? No, we have not. Isaiah Williams continues to impress. The special teams was hideous, covering kicks and fumbling the ball all over the place. Isaiah Williams lost a fumble. What's his name? The other return man, Calhoun from Duke, Jalen Calhoun, lost a fumble. It was not a good day for special teams other than Jack Fox, the GOAT, the punt god, and Jake Bates. But the kick coverage needs work. Punt coverage needs work. And certainly the return game was not very good. Vaki Town, Sione Vaki, that's another one. That's another guy that continues to impress. He's making the team. They moved up to get him in the draft. It's not like he's not going to make it. But every time he touches the ball, you feel like something good's happening. You're on the edge of your seat. And give Brad Holmes credit. They brought him in and worked him out before they drafted him. They saw something nobody else saw. They drafted him as a receiver, even though he was a safety, running back. They drafted him as running back, even though he was a safety in college and only played a couple of games, because the running back situation with the Utes, the 2 Utes, were name that movie. They were injured, so Vaki had to do some running back stuff, and he looks good. Lions have a very, very deep running back room. I thought Bam Knight looked good. We already know Craig Reynolds does his thing. Come on, Craig. So, tight ends. Zylstra played well. Mitchell played well. Who's going to stay? That Parker Hesse guy can play some fullback. There's depth there. You love to see it. Mitchell Agude, that guy may make the team. Justin Rogers at DetroitFootball.net, he's got Mitchell Agude making the team right now over James Houston. So there's some good battles there. Defensive backs continue to look all right. I know Stephen Gilmore did not have a good day. Kindle Vildor season, decent, definitely battling as a backup corner. You already can see that position is better. Question is Carlton Davis's health. Is he going to be healthy? He's been injured the last couple of years. It's one of the reasons why the Bucs unloaded him. Can he stay healthy? So Lions need him on the field. But that was a fun game on Saturday, and certainly to see Jake Bates bang through the game-winning field goal was cool. All right. Again, this coming Saturday afternoon when the Lions play the Steelers, I don't know how much we're going to learn. I still think the Lions are going to pick up another receiver. I'm going to tell you why later on in the show. I don't think it's going to be Julio Jones. The issue is Isaiah Williams' size. He's a slot guy. He's the same build as Amon-Ra and Khalif Raymond. If Isaiah Williams was 6'2" and they could put him at the X or the Z, then we could talk. I hope Saturday they put him out wide a little bit more. See if he can play the outside. In the slot, he's dangerous. He's fantastic. The undrafted rookie free agent out of Illinois has really looked good. Donovan Peoples-Jones, was he on the field Saturday? Jeez. Man, talk about a guy that's progressed from where he was a couple years ago. I still think he's going to make the team, but we'll see. All right, coming up next, PFF grades. What did Pro Football Focus think of the Lions' performance this past Saturday. We will tell you who graded out well coming up next. And it's Monday, and Locked On Lions is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. They've got superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP, bring home huge wins, keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. All right, welcome back. Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network. I received an email today. We're going to be recording an NFC North preview. Lauren Cox, Locked On Bears. Luke Braun, Locked On Vikings. And yes, the most hated man in Detroit, Peter Bukowski, Locked On Packers. We're going to get together this week and record an NFC North preview. It should be straight fire, folks. Straight fire. So get ready for that. Can't wait to hear Peter Bukowski talk about the 14-3 Green Bay Packers. If Jordan Love gets hurt, it's curtains. Go back and watch. I watched some of the Packers on NFL Network last night. Woo, Sean Clifford. My goodness. All right, PFF grades. We talk about it all the time. We do these every Monday during the regular season, but why not do it during the preseason as well? As Pro Football Focus did grade out how the Lions looked and whether it was good or bad Saturday in Kansas City. I mentioned before on offense, backup guard Jamarco Jones graded out the highest on offense at an 86.0. TK 85. Mr. August himself, Tom Kennedy, the wide receiver, an 82.1 grade. Great job by Hendon Hooker, 40 snaps, 80.8 grade, third best on the team. Isaiah Williams, 76.6, and Zonovan Bam Knight, 76.6. Those are 70.8. Isaiah Williams is 76.6. Those are your top 5 Lion performers on offense from Saturday's gritty, gutty, come from behind win over the Kansas City Chiefs. Your bottom 5 Lion performers: Jake Funk, halfback, 38.9. Kingsley Egwakun, the backup center, 49.6. Nate Sudfeld, third worst at 50.5. Oh boy. Donovan Peoples-Jones, 51.1. And in that fourth tight end battle, or even third tight end battle, James Mitchell, 52.3. I didn't think he had a terrible game, but I didn't watch it like that. I don't watch it like the PFF people do. Those are your top 5 and bottom 5 offensive performers for the Lions from Saturday. On defense, highest graded guy on offense or defense was something called Abraham Beauplan, linebacker, number 59 in your program. 90.1. He had that scoop fumble that put the Lions in position to win the game. Lauren Strickland, safety, 84.1. Ben Neiman, linebacker, 82.6. Ty Summers, linebacker, 79.2. And Josh Paschal, who was in the game at the end, I'm not sure why, but he was, 78.7. Top 5 Lion performers on defense. Amik Robertson, by the way, was 65.4. Does that guy, he trash talks after every play. Amik Robertson talks to the other team and even the other sideline after every play. Also on defense, the bottom 5 performers, a linebacker, Malik Jefferson, 27.1. Matthew Betts, who did have a sack in the game, 39.0. Guy I was looking very closely at and didn't do a ton this game was Isaac Ukwu, number 45, 40.9. Chris Smith, the pride of Cranbrook, 44.2. And CJ Moore, a 47.0. I bet CJ Moore wasn't happy with his grade. Those are your bottom 5 Lion performers from Saturday against Kansas City. So there you have it. DJ Reader continues to be out, continues to be on the physically unable to perform list. Look, he's going to make a massive, massive difference for sure for this Lions team when he comes back. But right now, he's still rehabbing that quadriceps injury after surgery this offseason. Today, he was at a Son Never Forgets Foundation event in Detroit. It's his nonprofit, so shout out to him. And the Free Press, Dave Burkett was there. Detroit News, a bunch of people were there. But regardless, here's what DJ Reader had to say about his progress today. A quote, "No real timetable for return, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about where I'm at in rehab and running around a little bit, so I'm excited about where I'm at. I don't necessarily have like a day or exactly when I'll be back, but I'm feeling good though." All right. Reader went on to say about September 8th and would he be back for the Rams game? Quote, "That's just one of those things. I'm just working every day to see where I'm at. And just kind of where your feet land is where you land. So I haven't put on pads like the other guy yet. So I'm just kind of in that realm." All right. Remember now, if DJ Reader has to stay on the physically unable to perform list, he would have to miss the first 4 games of the season. He did say that the last time he went through this, he was able to make it back for the Bengals opener the next year. But that year, the injury, I think, occurred in October, and this was November last year. So we'll see. But the update is there really isn't any update other than he feels good. You know he's not going to play Saturday. You know he's not going to practice this week. The question is going to be in that 2-week period between cutdown day on the 27th and the Lions opening up on the 8th, will he be able to run around? Will he be able to put on pads and maybe simulate a few things and be in the kind of shape where he's going to be there September the 8th? Good news is guys like Levi Onwuzurike, Kyle Pecco, Josh Paschal, Roderick Martin seemingly have stepped up and all gotten better. So that spot vacated by Benito Jones leaving and Bohanna and all these guys next to Aleem McNeil is not in dire straits as it looks. But none of those guys, and I know Levi's had a great camp and everything else, but none of those guys are at the caliber or level of DJ Reader. He's going to be a difference maker. He's going to be a space eater and a guy that, gets to the quarterback, commands some double teams. The question is, you don't want to rush him back too quickly, but you also, that Rams game's not going to be a cakewalk here on Sunday Night Football. Imagine the crowd when DJ Reader gets introduced, if they introduce a defense or when he makes that first stop. I mean, that place is going to be going absolutely crazy. And he was the biggest free agent pickup of this offseason for Brad Holmes. So certainly the hope is that Reader is back, but as he told reporters today, he's just not sure, but he's feeling good. It's starting to work out and move around a little bit, but we're talking it's August 19th. So we have about 3 weeks or so before we get to opening weekend and September 8th, the Sunday night game against the Los Angeles Rams. So we'll see. I'm excited to see DJ Reader and I hope he can get out there, and props to all the reporters that made their way out there today to get in front of DJ Reader. I didn't even mention Mekhi Wingo. Every time I watch him play in the preseason, I like what I see. What was Wingo's grade? 51.2, near the bottom. I like number 94. I like his activity. I think he's going to be a good player. I think that's going to be a steal in the 6th round, Mekhi Wingo. All right. It's starting to be out there now. I'm getting text messages. Oh, John Jensen said, or, oh, I read on POD. Oh, okay, that's fine. People are entitled to their opinions, but I'm going to tell you why coming up next, that the Lions are not and will not sign Julio Jones. Come on. We'll do that next. And Locked On Lions today are brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. You've heard us talk about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Look, if you go on their app and check out how to bet on stuff, whether it's baseball, whether it's the Tigers, huge series win over the Yankees this weekend. That was as good a win last night as I've seen the Tigers have in years. All right. but it's just so easy to navigate if you want to put money down on any of your sports. Well, FanDuel is something different for you right now through September 22nd. All FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial. Listen to this, of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Just go to FanDuel.com/lockedon to download America's #1 sportsbook. Want to do the over-under on 10.5 wins for the Lions in Vegas? Go for it. Do it. It's at FanDuel.com/lockedon. And you could also get to watch NFL Sunday Ticket. It's all from our friends at FanDuel. I Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network. Matt Derry with you. Thanks for making us your first listen. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Our call of the day will return tomorrow. Go to speakpipe.com/Derry podcast page. Speakpipe, PIPE.com/Derry podcast page. Leave a voicemail. I will play the best one tomorrow in our call of the day. The legendary former Eastern Michigan Eagle and Lions quarterback, Charlie Batch, who is the color commentator on Steelers TV during the preseason, is going to join us on Wednesday. Our old buddy Charlie, love having C Batch on the program. We will do that on Wednesday, working on some other things for this week as well. All right, so we know this. Amon-Ra St. Brown, a lock. Jameson Williams, a lock. Khalif Raymond, a lock to make the team. None of those guys have played a single down of preseason football so far this year. The number 4 and number 5 wide receiver spots are wide open. Wide open. Donovan Peoples-Jones, you want it? Take it. He doesn't want it. It doesn't look like it. Isaiah Williams, all right, he's looking good. But has he secured a stronghold on a roster spot with his size and having to play in the slot? No. Caden Davis, he had a decent game the other day. Is he the answer? Tom Kennedy. The list goes on and on, right? Antoine Green got hurt. So there's a theory out there that the Lions should go into the free agent bag and sign Julio Jones. Julio Jones spent last year with the Eagles. Did anybody pay attention to Julio Jones last year in 11 games in Philly where he caught, wait for it, 11 passes total? This is a guy that would catch 11 balls in a game in his sleep when he was in the prime of his career with the Falcons. That was 10 years ago. Dude's 35. He's without a team. Nobody has signed him. Now, yes, I get it. Julio only made $1 million last year, $1.5 million with the Eagles. Why not take a flyer on him? He can't play anymore. I'm not signing Julio Jones in here, who's going to want the ball coming his way. Now, I know all receivers are all wanting the ball and everything else. Let's let this play out. Let's just see what happens on Saturday. Let's just see what happens in the coming weeks. Let's look around and find out who gets cut, where there's some roster shakeups, where there's some issues with money with some teams that say, oh, we're here, there, whatever. Let's see if a team is desperate and needs a linebacker, because the Lions all of a sudden have very good linebacker depth. Ben Neiman has played well. And he's probably not going to make the team. But what if a team says, we need a middle linebacker? Can you trade us Ben Neiman? We'll trade you our 5th receiver. Let's just be patient. We're not signing Julio Jones on the eve of the 3rd preseason game yet. No one else has signed him. Let's wait until later. Let's see if it gets desperation before we do that. And again, Michael Thomas isn't coming here either. Aaron Glenn, Alex Anzalone, Dan Campbell, all were in New Orleans with Michael Thomas. They would know by now whether or not to go get him. And the answer is no, and it's been no. So I'm not here to sign these players. You know, I know Hunter Renfro's out there, but Hunter Renfro is another slot guy. So let's see what happens on Saturday. Yes, I would start Hendon Hooker in this game against the Steelers. Let him play against the 2s and 3s rather than the 3s and 4s. See what you got. See what he has. He looked very solid Saturday. Made some good throws. Moved around the pocket. Sudfeld was better this weekend, but still that interception was abysmal. Better. But the Julio thing, no, that's not happening. I'm not signing Julio Jones. Charlie Batch on Wednesday. Give us a little background on the Steelers. Also, we'll talk some Lions with Charlie. Still, he's a Lions alum. He still pays attention to what goes on here. And we're working on some other things as well. So this has been a Monday edition of Locked On Lions. Get those voicemails in at SpeakPipe. Thanks for making us your first listen, checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. And again, please, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. And no, Saturday, that was Jake Riepma on the postcast. He's going to do a postcast after everything. Tiger games, Wings, Pistons, Lions. My show, our show will be on Sundays after games. Don't worry. Jake's show is live on YouTube on Locked On Detroit Sports, and he's on the minute the game ends. Usually my show is about an hour and a half after the game, so I can hear the post-game presser, I can do some prep, etc. So I know it comes up under our feed on the audio side. That's cool. It's a bonus edition of a postcast with our man, Jake Riepma, who was on the show Friday. Go back and watch it. All right. We will see you again tomorrow, folks, as the Lions are back to practice tomorrow. Get some injury updates from Dan Campbell, I'm sure, and more tomorrow on Tuesdays, Locked On Lions.